Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Adrienne Lindsay. I'll be your moderator today. We're excited that you're joining us for this presentation, the best Cloud Foundry monitoring you've ever seen. Before I introduce you and hand it off to our speaker today, just a couple of housekeeping items. So first of all, the webinar will be recorded and you will receive a link to rewatch sometime later today or tomorrow. And secondly, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions, please drop those down in the Q&A questions box and we'll be sure to get those questions answered. So without any further ado, I'd like to kick things off by welcoming Michela Mancioppi. Over to you.
Thank you, Adrian. Hi, I'm Michele. I'm a technical product manager at Instana, where I take care of, Cloud Foundry and Pivotal Platform, as well as other areas like agent, tracing technologies, application perspectives. We're going to touch all of them in our presentation. Before joining Instana, I was the technical lead of the SAP Cloud Platform Performance team, where I was tasked with overseeing the performance of the largest Cloud Foundry deployments in Europe at the time, the ones of SAP. As well, not only from the infrastructure perspective, but also for the applications and services running on top of them. So what does Instana bring to the table? Instana is an automatic application monitoring solution that enables you to increase the speed of your software delivery cycles. You deliver better digital experiences to your application users, and you're able to create a foundation to foster operational excellence in your DevOps organization. In a nutshell, Instana becomes fundamentally your DevOps companion. Instana has been founded in March of 2015 by APM experts who saw that the tools available at the time no longer met the growing demands of customers. Already in 2015, there was an ongoing shift towards containers, microservices, DevOps, and the rapid pace at which changes had to be deployed in production was already beyond what existing tools could provide. So our founders felt that they needed an entirely new way of approaching APM, one that was designed to be much more dynamic in terms of how technology stacks were dealt. Today, we're going to talk about Cloud Foundry, Pivotal Platform, and Instana. So Cloud Foundry is in itself a platform as a service. It's an open source project that allows you to deploy a foundation, a landscape managed by Bosch, on which you deploy through the Cloud Foundry command line and APIs, 12-factor applications, microservices that are designed to interact with one another and provide end users and other applications with capabilities and endpoints and services. It makes it easier to deploy, build, test, and scale applications. And it works pretty much on every cloud you can imagine. It allows the developers to use pretty much every developer framework. And there is a wealth of services that you can easily deploy on Cloud Foundry and provide directly to your applications. Pivotal Platform, formerly known as Pivotal Cloud Foundry, it was recently rebranded, is a multi-cloud product that enables you to run enterprise applications with Cloud Foundry and other technologies. It unifies cloud computing, containers, microservices, continuous integration and continuous delivery, agile development and DevOps in an easy to operate and maintain package. Instana manages the performance of applications running on Cloud Foundry and Pivotal Platform, providing immediate, exact understanding to the DevOps organization and the quality of what is delivered to customers with zero effort. Now, how does it work? We deliver one of the most automated Pivotal Platform tiles you have ever seen. We're very proud of that. You will see to which extent we go in terms of automation. What is happening is that through the facilities of Bosch, and specifically runtime configurations, we are capable of automatically deploy and configure our agent across an entire Pivotal Platform Foundation. And everything that can be done with the tile in 3 clicks is something that can be done with a very small amount of configuration through open source Cloud Foundry and just Bosch. It doesn't need Pivotal Platform to use the facilities that we're going to show you today. Our agent then goes and discovers everything that runs on top of the foundation. All the Diego cells, all the virtual machines running your databases, your MySQLs, your RabbitMQs, your Redises, all the applications running on top of the Diego cells, running inside Garden containers. And Instana automatically traces every request through every application, giving end-to-end visibility into how all your different applications interact with one another. Now, Instana provides you, on top of this, automatic and continuous discovery of all processes, the Garden containers, the Cloud Foundry applications, and the service instances running in the foundation. You get out-of-the-box automatic dependency mapping of all applications and service components, and you understand all the relational interdependencies. It gives you immediate visibility and performance feedback as new code moves you through your continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines. And based on our AutoTrace, our premier automatic distributed tracing, it also gives you anomaly detection and analytics across the complete data set. In a nutshell, Instana enables you to deliver better quality applications and services faster. So much faster. Now, without much further ado, let me go into the demo. What I'm going to show you is something that you can get today from Pivotal Network. You can log in, download the tile, deploy it onto your Pivotal Platform Foundation, or follow the Cloud Foundry and Bosch instructions on our website, and you're good to go in a matter of minutes. How does it work? We provide you a tile. It's a very automated tile. You download it from Pivotal Network, you put it into Operations Manager. This is the tool that your operators or Cloud Foundry use to deploy software across the entire foundation. And you give Instana 3 pieces of information. The first is the name of your foundation. This you would probably call something like development or test or QA or production in the United States or production in Europe. And then you tell us where is the Instana backend. We provide both SaaS and on-prem. So the collection of the data occurs on your foundation, and then you can decide where those data are analyzed. And then you tell us the secret that the agents are going to use to authenticate themselves to the backend. And that's it. What you get out of this after you roll out the changes is that the entire foundation comes to life in Instana. We automatically install our agent on every single virtual machine of your foundation. And we automatically configure it to collect specialized information for things like the MySQL databases that are running inside your foundation, or the Redis instances, or the RabbitMQ instances. What we also do, we go and automatically discover all the applications that are running on your Diego cells. This is done out of the box. We go and automatically collect the information that Cloud Foundry developers use daily through the Cloud Foundry command line tool and the APIs. All of this is searchable, and it allows you to drill down very quickly to particular applications. Unlike the Cloud Foundry command line, where what you get is fundamentally a bunch of non-interactive text, in Instana everything is correlated. For example, from this Cloud Foundry application, I can drill down into the information about what the container is doing and what is running inside of it. This that we're looking at is a Python application that shows you all the metrics that you get from the Python runtime, as well as linking into the view of the health of the service. What we are looking at is the view built on tracing data of everything that this application is doing. Instana traces every request, no sampling. And you see that Instana not only automatically tells you the errors, but it already automatically discovers the issues. This we're going to look at soon. What I want to show you is that not only you see single applications, but with a very simple configuration, you define in Instana what is your application as an aggregation of different Cloud Foundry applications and software running on other platforms like Kubernetes, like EC2 on Amazon, you name it. For us, it makes no difference. We trace through everything and give you a very cohesive view of how the different pieces of your infrastructure are working together to serve your users. Of course, the best APM solution is the one where you do not need to guess or to search and click around a lot. It's actually the one that tells you when something is wrong. Instana does that out of the box, and it gives you a very concise view of the issues that are occurring. You see how the situation changes over time. In this case, the error has been 100% for the whole time, and you can immediately jump into what we call unbounded analytics. This is the place where all the data that Instana collects become available to you at your fingertips. You can slice and dice however you want. For example, in this particular case, we have the same software running on two very different platforms. And what you can do with Instana super easily is actually to take all the tracing data that we have and see how the same software is behaving in different applications. In this particular case, we see that there is a lot of problems happening on Cloud Foundry, and we can further drill down to the level of seeing every single trace that Instana traces, which means all of them. You drill down directly to the source of the problem, which is easily highlighted to you. As everything in Instana, it's all interconnected. So you can jump, for example, from the particular trace to which particular instance of your application was serving the problem. So that, for example, you would be able to see what else was happening very easily on the same Diego cell. Often it happens that some application misbehavior is occurring because of something else that is running on the application. And Instana will immediately tell you all these things. Not only you will not have just to click around, Instana will tell you up front. Now, there is something else that Instana does out of the box, and that is end user monitoring. With one simple line of JavaScript, you do not only trace all your Cloud Foundry application and how they interact with each other, but the monitoring starts from the browser. You are able to trace every single user interaction through web browsers down to the deepest database call. What you're seeing now is the structure of a page view. This is something modeled after the developer tools that every web developer is using daily, except that in Instana everything is correlated. So with one click, you go all the way into all the calls that have occurred across all your Cloud Foundry applications, across all your services, correlated to what is happening in terms of end user monitoring. Everything at your fingertips. Now, in terms of what Instana knows out of the box, we actually have a lot of built-in knowledge. Some things are simple as looking at the replication state of the Redis cluster. It's never good when the replication state is down. But others are far more complex. Using machine learning algorithms and statistical regression analysis, we are actually able to automatically detect what the behavior of your application has been, for example, in terms of error rate, in terms of latency, in terms of how many calls it has been receiving, and alerting you if something changes in a way that is unexpected. All of this comes out of the box, and there is a lot of different other things that you can piece together, for example, by creating events on particular things that are important to you. All this information, all these events are automatically collected by Instana, and you can decide which ones do you care about. For example, very simply, you can select, for example, tell Instana, like, although you see everything and all the problems, I want to hear only about the ones that hit the front end, not the ones at the back end, because that's what my team is responsible for. And we can alert you over a number of different channels with all the usual suspects available to you, plus a lot of flexibility in hooking additional systems through webhooks. Now, this was more or less the extent of what I wanted to show you today. And Adrian, over to you.
Great. All right, so time for questions and answers. You still have time to drop your question in the Q&A box. So let's get started. We have a couple here. First question, how often do I need to update the foundation? Because each update takes me up to 10 hours.
Oh, I love this question. So if you have worked with very large foundations or even relatively small ones with a few tens of cells, it takes hours to update them very often. Cloud Foundry is a very refined system that is designed to be able to have rolling updates. But the counterpoint of that is that updates take very long. Now, should you actually run one of those very expensive updates to use the latest and greatest Instana agent? Well, the answer is no, because if what we provide you through the incredible modularity of our agent is the possibility to update its components pretty much on the fly. We make the Instana agent better virtually every other day. We release improvements to our sensors, we release improvements to our tracers, we release improvements to the agent itself. And we make those available online so that you can tell your agents to daily update themselves, let's say, 4:30 in the morning. However, whether you're allowed to do that, for example, in production, it depends very much on the policies of your organization. So, for example, we give you the possibility of using another repository, your own mirror, to use as gatekeeper for all these updates. Or, for example, if you find that running your own mirror is too expensive or too complex in your case, what we provide you is curated lists of updates that you can pin the agent to. What's happening is that in this case, the agent will hold itself to run only that particular set of versions, and it will change itself only when you tell it to, with a change that is so much faster to roll out than, for example, deploying a new version of the tile. So in a nutshell, with Instana and its agent technology, you can get the speed of updates down to the quickest you can desire based on the policies. And the different combinations that you have of update agent policies serve every single use case for policy enterprises we have come across in the past 4.5 years, which is, I guess, pretty much all of them.
Great. All right, next question is, we are looking into Kubernetes. How does Instana work with that? And will that cause more monitoring silos?
Well, I have to say we are extremely proud of our state-of-the-art Kubernetes monitoring. With something as simple as deploying a Helm chart or deploying a daemon set, you actually get the best visibility that there is on the market in terms of Kubernetes. We collect information both about the infrastructure, the same we do for Cloud Foundry, as well as the applications running on top of it. And at your fingertips, you have all the relevant informations. What are the nodes of your Kubernetes cluster, the namespaces, and what is running inside of them? What are your deployments? What are your Kubernetes services? What are the pods? All of this interlinked with the infrastructure underneath and the tracing data at your fingertip. For services, we even link you to the particular logical services so that from here you go from the Kubernetes world into what your end users see in just one click. And the same type of flexibility and integration we have with every other other platform we support. And there is an incredible amount of them. If you go on the documentation, you will see the extent of public hyperscale providers and, for example, container runtimes and technologies that we support. It's hundreds of them, and everything works smoothly with everything else.
Great. All right, so before we wrap things up, Michaela, do you have any final thoughts?
Try it. Go on the Pivotal network, download the tile, and try it. You're not going to regret it.
All right. Well, hey, we want to thank you all for joining today. If you come up with another question, feel free to respond via email once we send out the recording. And with that, we'd like to thank you again. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody.